think, Chris, you talked after the game last night about how J-Mac has kind of really made an impression. And how do you make decisions on when to alter the rotation in a meaningful and long-term way in terms of how you guys are playing?
Yeah, I mean, I think honestly, J-Mac's getting to the point where he's going to grab the spot, and we'll see what he can do. But we still have 3 different guards who have 3 different skill sets, so we're still going to leave ourselves the flexibility to maybe go a different direction.
Is kind of one of the big things for him just the way that he injects pace but also doesn't turn the ball over? I mean, it seems like he does a pretty good job at it.
Yeah, I mean, it's not just the turnovers. I mean, it's he makes the system go. He does all the things we know J-Mac can do, and we thought and still believe at times that, both Shake and Troy could give us other dimensions. And so, sometimes you just got to cycle through this stuff,
Is it not even, J-Mac's obviously playing well, but is maybe where the rest of the guys are falling short right now contribute to that too? You need ball movement, those types of things?
Yeah, of course. I mean, I can't expect Troy Brown to make threes at a high level if the ball doesn't move. I can't expect Shake to be good in transition if we're not getting out and running. So there's no doubt about it. Those guys have been a victim of some really kind of poor offense at times, So, but J-Mac obviously has the ability, more so than those guys, to generate more good offense in the beginning.
What's the balance right now of guys like Ant getting off to strong first quarters, but it maybe not necessarily creating much of a rhythm or flow for anybody else?
I mean, I don't put much thought into how strong you start. I want them to make the right play, get people get involved, and I think right now it feels like everyone's trying to get themselves going. Ant and Cat are trying to get off to strong starts all the time, but that stuff's going to be there. Whether you have a 6-point quarter or a 16-point quarter. I think we need to kind of get the ball moving again, get back to having more structure, better spacing. A lot of our turnovers are result into poor spacing right now. A lot of that poor spacing is a result of people just holding, indecision, not knowing what your teammate's going to do with the ball, and now you start kind of milling around.
So lack of ball movement and poor shot selection seems to contribute to just about everything.
Yeah.
I mean, the rebounds.
No doubt about it, yeah. We don't get offensive rebounds. Transition defense gets exposed a little bit. All that kind of stuff. So.
And you preach this, obviously.
Every day.
And film it.
You should come to film. You should come to film. Yeah, we've spent a large part of this season, fighting the defense a bit, not playing with enough, kind of just trust in what we're doing and taking what the defense is giving us. We need those guys to do what they do well. We need Ant to be an ISO scorer. We need Cat to be a tough cover at all different levels of the floor. But we don't need them to do it every single time down. And they have to have the burden of creating good offense for themselves, for their teammates, and for each other. So, and we have not been able to strike that balance consistently yet. Until we do, we're not going to take a step forward.
But even getting them to do what they do well requires ball movement.
100%. Well, it puts them in a better position to do it. But I mean, I would imagine, most game plans and walkthroughs and shoot-arounds are all centered on what we're going to do largely with these 2 guys, plus Rudy rolling to the basket. Playing right into the teeth of that all the time, it's a tough way to kind of always go at it every night. So, yeah.
Just a little bit of a mathematical question. When you talk about that, and you talk about uncontested 3, is there a percentage that you look for? If a guy's going to be a shooter, then he's got to make X amount percentage-wise uncontested 3s to kind of qualify as that kind of shooter?
I don't think so. I mean, I would imagine, contestedness usually affects your percentage by about 7 to 10%, something like that. But there's all levels of that too, closely contested, lightly contested. But yeah, I mean, I just know if we generate more open ones, everyone will shoot the ball better.
Chris, a lot of offensive rebounds given up yesterday, but that hasn't really been an issue this season for the group. What have you seen that has made you overall a better offensive rebounding team this year versus last?
Well, a lot of our offensive rebounding problems last night were related to our transition. Yeah. We kind of never could get back, get set. We were flying around in rotation, got exposed on the weak side. So the two went hand in hand, which is like, it's what they do best. They run, they take a lot of hard shots, which we were able to force them into, and then they pound the glass. And they were exceptional at running, and they were exceptional at pounding the glass. And they just beat us in numbers and effort. They sent more guys than we were willing to box out. That was just definitely. We've been better. Like, we weren't great this season, but we've been better at getting bodies on bodies. But last night, it was only really Rudy who was in there, like, rebounding, and we can't just rely on that. So.
Randall and Zion are in ways similar to scoring big fours.
Yeah.
What's the key against that?
I mean, our bigs got to step up, take the challenge, guard one-on-one a little bit better. Kind of win the first dribble or two. Sometimes I think we're giving those guys a little too much cushion to come at us. And they're both very skilled, and they hit you first, and they play off of that, and that's where you get in a lot of trouble. But also, we got to have another line of defense behind them, and that hasn't always been super consistent in the last couple of weeks either. So
you've talked about needing to get better through winning.
Yeah.
But this, like, in little periods right now of slippage, what's it like getting the message across when the wins are still coming? Like, is it a little harder to, like?
No, I know they're. Yeah, I mean, I know they're a little tired of hearing me, at times. We just got to stay on these things. I think we're playing pretty average basketball the last couple of weeks. I don't really think we're playing that great. I think we got to get back to doing things like guarding through the first part of the game. Like, we've not really put our defense out there on display until the second half. A lot of times we wait too long, or when we get down. Offensively, we talked about those struggles too. And we had a really good rhythm of offense for a while, and that's kind of evaporated now. So it's a challenge. A lot of just another way you got to show maturity. You got to keep growing up.
When you reach the point, do you think we're like somebody
cut him off all the time?
It's just payback. We're like, when do you reach the point you think when a guy's negative tendencies are kind of out the window and they don't maybe revert back, like guys with ball movement and whatnot, maybe like getting sticky? Like, when does those go out the window?
I mean,
how long?
I don't know. I mean, if I answered that question and gave you a definitive answer, I'd be giving up on my job. It's my job to try to, no matter what, just to try to get guys to keep making the right plays, do the right things, and then. I've seen it, and I know we can do it. So it's a personal choice right now.
Slow-mo's been one of your best on-ball defenders 2 through 4 all season. Is it hard? You want to keep the integrity of the rotation to some extent, right? I mean, is that one of the reasons why you can't, like, put him in against Randall Moore? And
I mean, sometimes, sometimes the rotations, we try to do different things with our rotations. Like last night, Cat had it going, so I didn't want to take him out, and that kind of jacked the rotation for a little while. Really cost us in the second quarter there because probably still need to continue to break up Ant and Cat scoring better. Any given night could be a little bit different. So, yeah.
Coach, do you like it when leaders or veterans take over a locker room and give a pep talk or play somebody? Is that a key ingredient in this whole thing or not?
I mean, I think if it's necessary and appropriate, for sure. But too much talking also gets old too. It's got to get out there and do it. So.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks.